Hello, I'm John Proxy on channel John of the West. I'm having a disco Elysium adventure, and it's a new day. Yes, it is. I was done. I was officially done by the end of the last episode. I've not recorded a lot of this recently, and I really want to, but it's Christmas Day, and that means I got a lot of time to myself. Is it the tab? Well, there's somebody to talk to. Let's talk to that person.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of dye are you looking for?
She's got a direct view of the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Hold on, what do you mean by Milius?
A Melius is like a calling station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
That's the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
How did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice? Move on.
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
I want a D7. Role-playing games. You know this one made... you know the one made by Fortress Accident? Does that count? Sure, I'd like role-playing games and need some dice.
My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual.
I don't quite have that much money.
Take a look around and see if there is any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. It almost looks as if the stones and the dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. The person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker, doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. Bloody hell. How did you become a dice maker? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that was an unfocused field. Too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Do you like role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers, they're nice people. Continue. Rhetoric. Some of those people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place? Look around the room. We're inside the chimney of the old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay anyone rent here, so that's a plus. Creative. The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods, as the wind howls from the furnace shaft above. Am I recording? Do I have sound? Yes, and yes, wonderful. But I don't think those stories are true. Placence is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies. Placence, The bookshop lady, she raises her brow. I've heard her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Actually, the bookshop isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's a part of the building complex. Hold on. The Whirling is a part of the doomed commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. No, the Whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers have trouble paying bills. And then there's me. She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there, scattered from knives to carving flies to wire cutters. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived, despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Drama. Success. Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse. Placence thinks it's because you're the source of it. A malignant entity. Malignant entity? What does that even mean? The dice maker laughs. Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity? I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and the natural market fluctuations. Exactly, she pinches the root of her nose. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and as truthful as far as we know. Placence is not going to like what you have to tell her. Shivers Legendary 14. Why hasn't her business failed? You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. I'm not sure I should strip. Leave it at that. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief, the tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the Whirling in Rags? Nothing really. I didn't know him. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening. I'm sorry, Detective. As you know, I'm usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try and come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. They must be because of the strike. She's heard of the murder, but not see it, sire. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in, but I never saw anyone during the fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. Do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window? I might have, she admits, but in this case all I could have seen would have been my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's light here, but dark in the yard at night. Okay, fair enough. That's true. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look at the window when I'm in the zone. So we know what happened at night then. I see. Thank you for your answers. She nods. I would like to order a dice from her, but I don't have any money, do I? Do you know what will happen to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone. More or less. She adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. Are you interested in anyone specific? There used to be a hair salon here, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out the working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence. I love it when my different parts of my brain argue. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I guess it just wasn't their time yet. She tucks a strand of hair under her headscarf. Ah, that might not have been the best to put. What happened to the Gaim? It wasn't merely a Gaim. It was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drugs and crime. And who was Artemitep? A kind man from Zemesk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger. That's why he wanted to start a Gaim as his way of giving back. Maybe that's what Kuno needs. A community-centric boxing club. Kuno? Her eyes narrow in the dim light. Who's Kuno? Indeed, who is Kuno? Your guess is as good as mine. Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment. I think it will take more than a Gaim to help that kid out. How did that community project work out? Conclude. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumour that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. It's not really full of that, and no one would store their drugs like that. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. That was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. What's up with the broken windows? I'm assuming it's Kuno again. Oh, this one's a mess, she sighs. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieus. Who would have guessed? What's a snuff milieu? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway, and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Cool. Very cool about the debris. But what's a snuff milieu? It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. Okay. I would never have guessed that. Nothing changes in her tone as she says that. It's as if just another piece of information to lay out for the world. So you may have noticed I've got a bit of a cold. I'm trying to power through it. Since I'm behind on my recordings, but still. I'm a very strange looking man. Yes. Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. The lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. And she lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. You mean Mr. Fabron? The taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I've forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. And then the insect rights activists came. Alright, what and then... I didn't know insects had any rights, or activists. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently, chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket, of course. And naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in Chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Okay. I don't think I do like insects, but this guy might. I'm glad somebody took care of the little guys. I like insects. Really? She looks at the windowsill where a dead fly is lying on its back, curled up in a bow tie. Anyway. I'm not sure that was the right idea. What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream after they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis. Okay. Their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tallulah or Torimotiri or Kashtkor, wherever he is. It's illegal. Okay, interesting. What do these transmissions say? The usual. I imagine he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans. Just can't wait to get started on them, just as soon as he returns. A smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you. Men like that are a curse. The man is stern. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized up by the bailiffs in 47. I've no idea why those skis or blades are still lying around the house. Not much use now, I guess. They were just props. Why return them to them? I found with a strange machine. Fortress accident. The radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up on her face. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Whirl. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedule. What do you mean liberal? What happened? The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. What went wrong? Well, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear the chit-chat behind the curtains on a cigarette break. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. She sounds almost mocking when she says that. From what I've seen so far, the project did seem quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know how markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time. That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great. Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk. The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. Anything else? There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar. Oh boy, the fabled Revachol Ice City. You're in for a treat here. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. The place was owned by two guys who had rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. Indeed. What were they? Alright, what were their other ideas? They were really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighbourhood and paying them 20 cents per hour. What? Paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. What did they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all. Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. They were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear? The bear, she repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples, like trying to suppress her headache. It didn't work out? Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters work, the fridge didn't work out too well either. Half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents apiece, out of regular fridges. I killed the bear. I unplugged it. You did what? She rolls her swivel chair an inch closer to you, unsure whether she heard you right. I unplugged the fridge to help Revachol Ice City cut their losses. Ah, of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatheron. Megatheron. Sounds cool. Megatheron. Megatheron, nods the dice maker. A mega wild beast. What's a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Ah. I don't have a comment on drugs. Understandable, you shouldn't do them, nods the dice maker. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the stories of the fallen ice cream empire. She almost seems sad, finishing her story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. I found the building's intercom, but it's not working. Oh, right. She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusky skin. Hope you didn't try to ring me. I think some of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her, then. So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours? That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. Doesn't work yet. I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it a part of the same building complex? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt anyone responds. Inland Empire. If the whirling is a part of the same building, then it's a part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there too. I have more questions about the building. I have other questions. Die? You have any cursed dies? As cursed as this commercial area? I need to think about it first. What kind of die do you think fits my personality? I think I just have... I have just the right one for you. She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue, are cradled in her palm. I don't get it. You're a police officer. Here, right? Catch. She tosses you the dice. They're a gift from me. Beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it. Let's go for hand-eye coordination. That's totally overthinking it, though. Success! Mr. Smooth Moves, you snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie. Say nothing. Act like you've done this 1,000 times. What are the odds? The dice maker gives you a warm smile. The red one is made of bloodstone with lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. Think of them as your lucky charm, officer. She smiled at you. She smiled. You truly are Mr. Smooth Moves. You'll definitely need luck in matinees. She closes her desk drawer. Was there anything else? Let's leave. Okay, I think that's the absolute best I could have got. Hey, psst. Look around. Psst. Hey, you. Who, me? Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Again? Yes. You're ready to start building communism again. You built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love too? Can't argue with that. So what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true? How come there's word on the street? Well, I just want to check out rhetoric. Oh yeah, I don't have a map. Rhetoric urges you to debate, make intellectual discourse, nitpick, and win. It enables you to break down arguments and hear what people are really saying. You'll spot fallacies as soon as they're used. What exactly did the waiter leave out of their testimony? What was the dancer trying to divert you from? Was that double entendre intended? Or did you just get an accidental lead? Ooh. You keep saying things like double down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs, stuff like that. I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those. I don't know, I've definitely said eat the rich before. But, I'm just print screening that. Anyway. Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate all mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder, or do we have to get right down to it? Wait, first, what is this communism even about? Failure. It's about failure. Failure? Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. Oh, it's because all these people failed their businesses, and I said a little thing there. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of its bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade. Let's roll up my sleeves and start building communism. It's opted. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Wait, what? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette. An omelette? That's the best kind. It's an omelette. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs. Roll up your sleeves even further and breathe in the pristine air. Let's finish the thought. Amazonian social economics. And it auto-save. Oh, it hurts my visual calculus, though. People think communism was some crazy idea that had its comeuppance 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world, never to return again. They were right, until he woke up. Today, a spiritual corpse responsive only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes and Krasmazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trench, where it has been resting, covered in ghosts and seaweed. He is the big communism builder. Come, witness his attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. Okay, it's going to hurt my visual calculus a lot. Let's go it. I got some dice. Isocahedral dice sets, sirens. These 20-sided dice, the colours of the police alarm, bloodstone for red and lapis lazuli for blue. If you roll them and squint your eyes, it looks like you're arriving on the scene. It's raining. Note, look at the map. In the map tab journal to see which white checks have been opened. Oh, I can change those now. Ah. Okay, I should do that then.
Yes?
Okay, now. So I'll take you to the outside. When I find the way, because I didn't show you last time. You know where it is. It's the doorbell. I do want to know what's going on with this. Oh, we're looking for a password. Is it my birthday? This is the police. Open this thing. I'm contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder's fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with the Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament. I'm afraid we're not doing that unless we want to wait a month. Now, can you please repeat the password? Alright, fair enough. Some items can be interacted with, can't they? Or fridge. Handwritten note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some of the marks. Bears. From the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the refrigerator door. Note from the fridge. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on the surface. Does it say anything interesting? The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder. This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Read the note. Someone has scribbled S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sulis Slaw. Wonder who wrote the note. Looks like someone from the radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they left the property lying here. Maybe they had to leave in a hurry. That's a plausible hypothesis. Remind me, what's a filament memory? It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to video disco tapes, right? It's like one of those disco tapes, only for your computer. It's like the production schedule you found, only this one's an off-site copy. Who's the illiterate ginger kid? Really? The lieutenant looks at you. The corner of his mouth curved into a smug grin. You don't have a single guess? You mean Kuno? Oh, I'm sure the child would love to get his hands on a filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. He'd probably try and pawn it for speed, based on our encounter. Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? So I've got to remember, I don't have to go through all the dialogues, and it's sometimes not a good idea to do that. I don't know, I assume it's close, somewhat close to the ice bear fridge. Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box? Okay, so I have no idea where that is right now, but possibly through here. Okay, moving towards the bottom of the screen is kind of annoying, but it really is quite a big bear. Try to crack open the lid. Slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. Pry bar would come in handy here. You want to try again? You'll need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective. Turn the ice cream crank. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance you hear water dripping. Did I miss this? No, I did not. Physical instrument heroic cracked open the lid. Heroic failure. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge. You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes. That's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it. This ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. Advanced? Where do we get one? I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool. Sooner or later you'll stumble upon a tool mighty enough, then we'll know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker. Because it's black, the colour of the immeasurable cosmos. The lieutenant raises his brows but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing. Oh, I'll put the black one back in. I assume that's where the thing is hidden, though. I don't know why it needs to be cold. The game doesn't seem to like me unplugging the black one, though, so I'll leave it plugged in. So, and that's in. Let's look at my ledger. Can I read the case files now? Huh. Lonesome Long Way Home has made that harder. Yes! Unless you find a way to piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin, HDB41, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB41120110:00, The Next World Mural. Wait, HDB41? Weren't those Officer Precinct? Why yes, your precinct number is 41, and HDB? Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it, and these are your case files. It's safe to say that HDB are your initials. Horace Debbie Beringer. That is improbable. How long does it take to read a case? It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you devised. That's quite a lot of time. I can revisit this. Let's put the case files away. Interfacing. Cool. Map wall. Warded door. Try the warded door. Oh. I can't remember where the warded door is. How do I remember where it is? I assume the map will help me out with this. The map wall. I think that's in there. But I don't think I recognise this dude. Have I spoken to you? I think he was asleep before. It's all about money, you know.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container key. Thanks, I hope you... I found what you were looking for. I found the victim's clothes. How strange. I certainly didn't put them in there. Could someone on your staff have put them there? Sylvia had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all of my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. Who else has the keys to the trash container? The trash collection service? CS Municipal? I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though. Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll ever track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. He turns to the man. Thank you, anyway. Maybe you don't remember putting them there. Maybe you were sleepwalking or in a fugue state. He grimaces. I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Thanks. Let's talk about something else. What about the money I owe? How much do I owe you again? A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks and broken window. 130 real. We're not quite there yet. Goodbye. Right, I think I'm just about level... Yeah, I'm ready to let you go. I've been John Foxy on channel Donald the West. I'm learning how to talk again. So that's what I was doing. And we might have some lunch and record another episode, I think. Yeah. Thank you. See you guys next time.